Welcome to Family Filler Games.
Today we're going to be playing Colt Super Express. Colt Super Express takes 15 minutes. It's 3 to 7 players and it's ages 8+.
In Colt Super Express, the objective is to be the last bandit on the train. In this game, you play it over a series of rounds, and each round involves two phases. The scheming phase, where you program your movements, and the shooting phase, where you take those actions from your scheming phase. Next, we want to go over the setup for Colt Super Express. First thing you will do is take the locomotive train card. Next, you will take a train card for each player plus one additional. At that point, you will all select which player you want to play. In this case, we've already pre-selected. She's going to be Belle, I'm going to be Django, and he is going to be Ghost. At that point, to determine who goes first, we will shake the beeples up here, and whatever one comes out first is going to go first. So the black character, Django, is going to be going first. And next what we do is the person that goes first is going to take this first player card. They're going to be the one that starts the round. The person that goes first will put their character in the second to last train car with their gun facing towards the locomotive. The player to the first player's left will then take their character and put it in the next train car, and the person after that will then take theirs and put it in the next train car. How the direction that they face works is half the bandits rounded up located in the rearmost cars of the train are going to face forward. So in this case we have 5 train cars out in total. Half of those rounded up would be 3, which is why we're facing towards the locomotive. The other half, in this case rounded down, is only these 2. So any characters that are on these are going to be facing towards the caboose. Once the setup is complete, each player will take their character's cards, and at that point we will begin our first round in the first phase, which is scheming. Before we do that though, I wanted to go over each of the cards in detail so you can see what each one does. All players have 4 cards that they're going to start with. They're all the same, other than that they'll have their character's art on them. This first card is shooting. How this card works is if you play this, you will then shoot whatever direction your gun is facing, and it will hit the first character that is within your line of sight. Line of sight is whether they're in the same train car or in a different one, as long as they are on the same level as you. So in this case, if I was to play my shooting card, it would end up hitting Ghost here. When somebody gets shot, you end up pushing them into the next train car and then turning them over onto their back because they've been stunned by the gunshot. If you've ever been stunned from a gunshot, whatever card you play next will automatically wake you up. So if I was to have played that card, so if Ghost was to have played this card here, let's say his next card was a shooting card, he would end up placing himself right side up again, facing the same direction that he was before. And he would not get to take the shooting action because he was just waking up from being stunned. The next card that you can play is going to be this card that has the reverse symbol on it. How this one works is it means you change your character's orientation so they're facing the other direction. So if I was to have played this card, I would flip my character over so that he's now with his gun pointing towards the caboose of the train. The next card is the move up or move down card. If I was to have played this move up or move down card, I would move to the, if I was in the train car already, I would move to the roof of the train card, keeping my character facing the same direction as he was before. Or if I was on the top of the train car already and I had played this card, I would move him back into the train card. The last card is the movement card. So for this card, you move in whatever direction your character is currently facing. So if I was to have played that card, I would then move my character into the next train card in the direction my gun was currently facing. If I was facing this way still and played the move card, I would end up moving into this train card with Ghost here. You'll always put your character at the side of the card from which he entered, and then you can slide that character that was existingly in there over to the other side of the card. So these are the 4 cards that we'll be able to play as we go through our scheming phase, and some of the actions that you'll be able to take using those cards. Now that we know what each of the cards does, we're going to go ahead and get started with our first scheming phase. So each player will choose 3 cards from their hand of 4 that they want to use for their scheming phase. The 4th card you can just set aside. You can use that in future rounds, but it will not be used in this round. Once all players have had their cards selected, they'll put them with their whatever card they want to be revealed first on the top card, second will be next, and third will be their bottom card that they want to have revealed. At this point, we'll move on to the second phase, which is the shooting phase. Starting with the first player, which in this case is Django, he will flip over his first card, and he will take that action. So in this case, I played a move card. So I'm going to move forward into this train card with Ghost. Ghost is to my left, so he will go ahead and flip over his first card. He played the shooting card. So he's actually going to, his line of sight, he's facing towards the engine. He's going to shoot Belle, who's going to come into this train car, into the locomotive, and she's going to get stunned. At this point, Belle will play her card, which is a move up card. Since she's stunned though, she cannot do that action. So she will just basically wake up from being stunned, and that will have ended her turn for that first card. Next, the first player will then flip over their second card, which in this case is a shooting card for me. So my line of sight, I'm shooting Ghost, who gets knocked into the next car, and will get turned onto his back because he's stunned. Ghost will then flip over his card, which is the climb up or down card. Since he's stunned, he is unable to do that, so he will wake up facing the same orientation that he did before. Belle will then do her next card, which is a shooting card. So she's shooting Ghost. So Ghost comes back to this train car, and once again gets stunned. At that point, we move on to the last card. So mine is a move up, so I'm going to move up to the top of the train car here. Ghost's last card is
Getting up.
He's going to wake up because he played a change direction card, but he cannot use it because he was stunned. And Belle's going to play her final card, which is she's going to change orientation. So she's actually going to flip that way. So that was the end of the first round. At the end of each round, you will take off the rearmost card, the caboose, for that round. Whichever player was the furthest back keeps this card, as these may need to be used at the end of the game if there is a tie. On the back of each of these train cards, there's actually a value, an amount. So if there's ever a tie, whichever player has the most train cards, or if there's a tie between the most train cards, whoever has the most dollar amount will be the winner. At that point, we go ahead and then start a new round by picking up all the cards we've used and basically choosing another 3 that we'd like to play based on our current situation that we're in. Also, once that final round is done, the first player card ends up moving over to the next player, so they are now going first. All right, once all 3 players have chosen their 3 cards for the next round, the new first player will flip over their first card, which is a shooting card. So he shot her off of the train. So she is actually out of the game now. So now it is just down to get Django and Ghost. With Belle being out, Django will now go. He's going to go ahead and move forward. Ghost will then play his second card, which is a move up card. Django will then play his second card, which is a change orientation card. Ghost will then play his third and final card for this round, which is a move forward. So now we're both on top of the same card. I'm going to then go ahead and play my third card, which is a shooting. So I shoot him back, and he is stunned. At this point, we remove this train card. Ghost is the one that's furthest back, so he collects this train card. First player card will then pass. Normally it would have to Belle had she been in the game still, but since she's not, it comes back to me. And we start over by choosing 3 cards on what we would like to do. Once all 3 players have chosen their cards, we then begin the next round. So for my first move, I'm going to move back toward the locomotive card. Ghost is going to wake up because he was stunned previously. I am then going to do my shooting card, which means I shoot and knock Ghost off of the train. And so he is out, he fell off, which means Django has now won this game of Colt Super Express. In the base game, in addition to the 4 action cards that it comes with, there is 2 additional cards that you can actually add into play once you become more familiar with the movements in the game. The first one that you can add in is a reflex card. How the reflex card works is if you are stunned, you get up without changing your direction, and you automatically then shoot your gun in the line of sight. So you could possibly stun another player at that point. However, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because if you play the stun or the reflex card and you are not stunned, you actually shoot yourself in the foot and have to stun yourself. So it's a risk to kind of play that. The next card you can add to it is the horse action card. So how the horse extension card works is if you're in the train and you play the horse one, you actually can automatically move yourself up to the locomotive card. Or also, if you end up getting knocked off the train and the next card that was in your pile happened to be the horse card, and you play that, the horse actually saves you and brings you back onto the train. So those add a little bit more depth to the game that can help you, stay alive a little bit longer, as well as kind of inflict some damage with the reflex card as well, instead of just having to kind of waste your turn just kind of standing up. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed that overview of how to play Colt Super Express.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any other board games that you want us to play,